Do the happy dance.
Hello everyone and welcome to their Mainstay, where we talk travel, lifestyle, and how I find them. And today we are going to review my brand new iPad Air 5. It has been a week since I got this iPad and I'm just so excited to share what my opinions are and how it's going in the last week. So this video will be split into 3 parts. I will leave the chapters down below so that it's easier for you to navigate to find out exactly what you're looking for. First things first is accessories. And I want to start with the screen protector because this is something I wasn't 100% informed about when I bought the iPad. And thanks to a lot of your insights, I have done some more digging and more research on which screen protector is best suited for the iPad. And it all came down to the tempered glass screen protector and also paperlike or similar brands that gives you the same matte texture. So starting with the tempered glass that I already have right now, you can see that there are some marks already, and in terms of writing with the Apple Pencil, it is a little bit slippery and it glides compared to real paper. For what I am using the iPad for, which is usually editing of photos, videos, and also taking down some notes, I don't draw on it, I don't have to, so I think tempered glass serves its purpose. However, a lot of us are so used to like writing on paper, and to get that same feel, people are like leaning towards using paperlike. And I did read in the comments and also in some of the websites and reviews in certain products that it can damage the pencil's tip. So you can buy them separately and you can replace the tips, but it's just that extra expense that, do you really want it? Do you really want that extra expense? If it's worth it and you absolutely have and need that like non-slippery paper-like matte feels, then that's what you need, go for it. And again, it's all about what suits your needs. However, if you do want to use a tempered glass screen protector, you can use exactly the one that I have. It comes with 2, and I'll just leave the link in the description box below. So the next accessory that I got is obviously the iPad cover, and we all know it, it's pink. But I think the highlight here is how it is very transparent at the back. I bought the iPad because it's pink, and so I want to see that it's pink every day. You know what I mean? You can also see in the cover that it has that pencil holder that is like perfectly positioned to like put your pencil in, and it just charges. Initially, I thought I had to like squeeze it out of here to get the pencil, but there is a hole right here that you can just push the pencil out, and then it's so easy to access. So again, it's user error. They actually have thought about the design and provided that easy access of the Apple Pencil. I also had the question about like the volume. It's got that positioning for the pencil holder. Oops, hello. Because it's got that positioning for the pencil holder, this silicone part here is not directly touching the volume buttons. However, it does have sort of solid silicone block that allows you to put the volumes up, right there, or down. So yes, you can definitely adjust the volumes in the case. And look, I looked at Amazon and nothing compared to this. I know the first question will be like, will it protect the iPad? And I will say the iPad does not need protection. It's form and a little bit of function. Alright, so next we have the Apple Pencil and my beloved D Pen. So for this, it's just magnetic, and you can see that it's charging the Apple Pencil straight away. In terms of using it, like, I've never really had an issue. Does it compare to writing in pen and paper? Not really, it takes getting used to. Okay, so speaking of the pencil, here's a story time. When I woke up and, grabbed my iPad, tried to use the pencil, and it wasn't working, like, at all. I was getting worried. So I restarted the iPad, turned Bluetooth on and off, tried connecting and disconnecting, and it wouldn't work. And so I was starting to get worried. The first thing I did was booking an appointment at a Mac store to discuss, my Apple Pencil's not connecting to my iPad, a freak out, panic, blah, blah, blah. So I showed it to my partner and then he asked, is there supposed to be a gap there between like the tip and the actual pencil? And so all I had to do, literally, was screw it in tightly. And then look at that, it's working a lot better now. Now let's talk about the specifications of the iPad Air 5th generation and how it compares to the iPad Air 4 and the iPad Pro. I have been getting a number of comments about those. Why not just buy an iPad Pro? How is it different to the Air 4? The color difference, etc. So I'm here to answer those questions now. In terms of the item by item specification differences, they are all available in the Apple website, and you can even compare up to 3 models of the iPads to make your decisions a lot easier. But when you look at those specs, I really just want to pluck out the ones that matter and the ones that heavily influence my decision on buying this new iPad Air 5. So there's a screen size difference. The iPad Airs are 10.9 inches, whereas iPad Pro starts from 11 inches. I mean, it's literally 0.1. However, they're all liquid retina display, but what the iPad Pro has is basically what Apple is calling the Pro Motion, which is basically a 120 Hz fast refresh display. If you compare them side by side, which I cannot right now, but if you compare them side by side, the iPad Pro will seem more fluid in terms of like the animations and how, as you are navigating through the screen, it just flows more fluidly on. To be honest, that is not a deal breaker for me, and I'm not going to pay extra $100 or $200 for the Pro Motion display. Now moving on to the key difference between the iPad Air 4 and the iPad Air 5, and this is big for me anyway, and that is the M1 chip that is in the iPad Air 5. iPad Air 4 only has, I believe, A14 Bionic chip. The iPad Pro also has an M1 chip, and I'm sure they're exactly the same. So why does the chip matter? Why does the processor matter? Well, this is coming from a software engineer, and chips are basically what makes your device slower or faster. Okay, so processors processes everything in ones and zeros called binary. And so the A14 chip goes 10110001. And then the M1 goes 10110001. Got it? With the M1 chip, it has 8-core processor and 8-core GPU. Some people say it is an overkill to put in an iPad. When you add in like a keyboard to an iPad, it can basically become a laptop. The M1 chip will be really, really good for when I am editing videos here, because I do not have a laptop I can edit with. And I think that is one of the reasons why I'm really after the M1 chip. The iPad Pro has 2 cameras, but the Air only has 1. And I am not cool enough to be taking photos with my iPad. Unfortunately, I always just use my phone. And another difference is like the storage. So an iPad Pro goes up to 2 terabytes of storage, whereas the maximum for this is 256 gigabytes. And honestly, again, I didn't feel the need to go a level up to a Pro if I don't really need that much space or that camera or the Pro Motion that they've got. And the last 2 features I want to highlight is that the iPad Pro can go up to 16 gig RAM, which I wish the iPad Air did, because I do care about RAM, because it just makes, again, video editing so much easier if I've got that much space. But I'm not complaining with 8 gig. And with security, the Pro obviously has Face ID, and this still doesn't. So they didn't add Face ID for whatever reason in this new release, which again, not really a deal breaker. So a lot of the differences between the iPad Air 5 and the iPad Pro to me are not deal breakers. Like, I don't need to upgrade for that extra oomph that the iPad Pro has. All I really care about is the M1 chip. And that is also the main reason why I didn't buy the iPad Air 4 6 months ago, because it didn't have the M1 chip, and I really felt like, you know, the next step for Apple is to give the iPad Air the M1 chip, and they did, and now I got this, and I am so happy. But the last and final and most critical difference between the iPad Air 5 and the iPad Pro is the color. As we all know, the iPad Air comes with different colors, and they're all very lovely and pretty, and look at this pink. Like, isn't she beautiful? So I did get a lot of questions about the color of the iPad and how it compares to the iPad Air 4. And I wouldn't say lighter, I would describe it as like more muted than the previous iPad Air, but that's just me, and I actually quite like it. This is why I would not get the iPad Pro unless it comes in pink. And so the final and most important question is it worth it? Is it worth spending 1,159 Australian dollars on this when I could have gotten a cheaper iPad Air 4, or I could have leveled up to an iPad Pro? I will say that it completely depends on what you're buying this for. If you are after form and function, I really think that the iPad Air 5 is the perfect product in between the other iPads. And for next year, I'm definitely going to use it as a digital planner. I think for 10 years, I have been using paper planners, and it's time to be sustainable and it's time to be more digital. So I'm really going to rely more on the iPad. But in saying that, different strokes for different folks, so it's really up to you whether you think that the iPad Air 5 is the right fit for what you're after. It is really situational. It's not one size fits all. We are all different people with different preferences, and that is basically it. It comes down to your preference and what you need and what you have budget for. So let me know what you end up deciding in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I genuinely enjoyed the discussions in the comment section, so I really appreciate all the comments so far, and it really motivates me to create more videos. So I will see you in the next video.